What does God look like?
One of us, what if God was one of us? So when I see the highest high, the most high, I see light. And that's all that I see, no details.
And is it a he or a she or a drag queen?
I think drag queen would be perfect.
What's your impression of me? How do you read me?
You're a lot more calm than I thought you would be because you have such strong opinions, but you're not like ripping up the chair, passionate about it. You know what I mean? You don't lose your head. So I'm impressed.
Amazing. Would you want to sleep with me?
You mean go to sleep?
No, I mean sleep.
Christ compels you.
Yes, guys, welcome to Cultural War. Here, Jess is going to be interviewing an occult priestess. This is a crazy interview, and what he asks this priestess will shock you. So I'm not going to be giving any spoilers. I want you to watch this video for yourself and enjoy it. Also, I want you to react in the comments section. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this. So without further ado, as usual, let's dive in.
I have with me a very interesting guest today, Reverend Corinne Wilson. She is an occult priestess and a professional psychic. Am I right about that?
That's right.
Amazing. Welcome to the show.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I am so glad you're here because I've always wanted to talk to people who was into reading cards. You read cards and all that kind of stuff.
And
right?
auras, jewelry even.
What are auras?
So your aura is the energy band. I can see it in color. It's like a heat signature across your body.
And you can read that?
Yeah, they're different color codes, and therefore we can see what's coming in and what's leaving.
Since I am as black as the ace of spades, what color is my aura?
You have a very high purple color right here, so that's the right side. That's what you're projecting out to the world, is that you know things. You're a knower.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And I can't feel it or tell that it's there.
You're awfully intellectual, and that gets in your way a lot.
Can other people see it?
People like me can, people who have cultivated their gifts, sure.
How did you become an occult priestess?
It's
and
a
what
self-title.
is that exactly?
Okay, great. It is a self-title. They say it's a new meme. Occult means hidden, and most people know that. It's also a medical term, occult, hidden from the doctor. But the occult actually means, the antiquity version of the word, means hidden from the uninitiated. So I believe that God calls people and initiates them through certain trials and errors in their hero's journey. I have been through many years of initiations to bring me into the secret or beyond, meta. Meta actually means beyond the mundane waking world.
Did someone teach you to do this, or you just decided to do it?
So I had sleep paralysis, which is a type of spiritual warfare, where I was attacked at night through dreams by a dark shadow entity. And I believe that that was the first initiation for me, and what told me basically what my life was going to be like.
And was that dark shadow evil?
Yes, very
evil.
much.
And so evil told you that you should become a priestess?
No, evil scared me straight to God.
Oh, I see.
So occult merely means hidden from the uninitiated. So if you're not initiated by heaven, then you won't understand what I'm understanding through experience.
So are you a Christian?
I'm a pagan, if you want to put it that way, but I'm also a Buddhist of the ancient lineage of Karma Kagyu. And so I am many different faiths.
What is a pagan?
So paganism is, I'm Wiccan in particular, and we worship basically a god and a goddess, a masculine and feminine form, Shakti, Shiva, if you like, of the god and goddess. And we learn through nature, through the cycles of the seasons, and through the cycles of ourselves. And it's very introspective.
So you were raised what religion were you raised
A
in?
Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
That's enough to drive you into a cult, priestess.
Well,
Priestess.
it was very difficult to be in that cult.
Yeah.
And then I found out what the occult was and know the difference.
What's the difference between an occult and a cult?
So occult, classic meaning, is hidden from muggles or hidden from the uninitiated.
Okay.
And then cult is when there is a leader. There are a list of things you have to go through to tick boxes of what a cult is. But there's a leader, and there's sycophantic people who are escaping their true lives to be in worship or in service to the head person that's the head of the cult.
And so, how long you been doing the psychic work?
So almost 30 years. So I started professionally when I was 16 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
And so a psychic and an occult priest, that's the same thing with different names?
I am self-named, self-labeled the occult priestess
Oh,
because I
see.
felt like it fit best to be a universal kind of priestess. That it's of all, occult means mystery, so I'm a priestess of the mysteries.
Do you believe there is a God and a devil?
I believe there is a force that we call evil. Now, it does personificate itself throughout history, through people, but it is a force. Therefore, it can take over people. And so it's not something that's just a guy, you understand? It's a force.
Oh, okay. So it's an evil force. And how do people become evil? How do they? How
Good question.
This force get? Yeah. How does it get into people?
That's amazing. So I usually answer this question in the opposite way. However, to become evil, one must feed their ego. They must go with all of their negative instincts. They must lie, they must cheat, they must steal. They must continue to be an immoral wreck. And then eventually, I believe, they become a beast or a demon.
What would make a person decide to become that way? Because they're not born that way. Somewhere walking down the road, they decide to become that way. What made them decide to become that way?
9 times out of 10, it's trauma.
What type of trauma?
So abusive trauma in which I was abused. I had trauma. That sent me straight to the light. So you could say they went straight to darkness. And I don't know where that's a linchpin. That's something we've been wanting to know for generations, what causes someone to go bad. But I also 100% believe in past lives, and that a lot of those negative tracks or positive tracks were set up before this current incarnation.
So you predict the future for other people, right?
I counsel people. That does include prediction.
And give me an example. What do people come to you with, and what do you tell them mostly?
A lot of my clients are growing up. They are emotionally maturing, and they're finding their way in this world. And that's what I'm helping them do. I'm helping them sometimes even just with prayer. How powerful prayer can be.
Prayer?
That we do prayers together, and then we'll do prayers like separately, and we'll both get the same, oh my goodness, I saw a symbol or a sign. And so we can compare notes.
And do you work with mostly men or women?
Usually women, actually.
Yeah.
I do love working with men.
Why is it mostly women, you think?
They're intuitive, and I think that they're more than likely to seek out someone else who is intuitive.
Oh, I see. So if someone went to you and they said, oh, I'm broke and I'm hungry and I'm poor, and what's going to happen to me, what would you tell them?
So that person would be talking about the material, physical existence, right? And we can only counsel so far with that, because either you're going to get up and do something for yourself or you're not. So I don't really influence that too much, although I do give very good advice because it's coming from a higher source. It's not coming from my life experience. It's coming from their spirit guides or angels and my people upstairs.
And when you say your people upstairs, who are your people upstairs?
So I have a main operator spirit guide, he's my phone connector, and he is Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes is a Greek god, as you might know. You know Hermes with the wings?
No.
Really? He's the messenger of the gods.
I never heard of Hermes.
Okay.
I know a Herman who died, but not a Hermes.
Bless his soul.
How did you meet Hermes?
So we did a guided meditation to meet our spirit guides, and I'd been trying to meet my spirit guide for several years. And it took about 7 years to get him on what I call the psychic telephone. And I asked him his name, and I saw his name and I heard his name at the same time. So there was no mistake that it was Hermes. And also my name, Corinne, is the French version of Cor, which Cor Persephone, also going back to the Greek myth. She was saved from Hades, or hell, by Hermes.
Amazing.
Isn't that neat?
And what does Hermes look like?
To me, he shows up as a beautiful Greek statue, like the David statue.
And so does he come down, or does he just allow you to see him?
We meet on different levels of consciousness. So it depends on where my consciousness is that day. He does not show up physically to me. These are visions during waking hours. So I dream while I'm awake.
And do you have any other people up there?
Sure, I've met a lot of the gods and goddesses. Some of the ascended masters, such as Yogananda, Babaji, so many.
Do you sin? Do you sin?
Sin, shame, difficulty. I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal. So I don't believe I sin. No,
So you do not sin?
I don't believe so.
Are you married?
No,
You have kids?
I have a son.
And is he a psychic as well?
He is very intuitive, but he's not into it.
Oh, he's not into it?
No.
How old is he?
So he is just now 20.
Really? And what is his impression of you?
He understands me, we found out, through video games. So he watches and plays some very intense spiritual video games. And he's like, oh my gosh, Mom, what you said to me made sense. So it's just a different level of consciousness, and he kind of gets it.
Is he still living with you?
No, he lives with his father, and his father and I are very good friends.
And so is his father a psychic?
He is intuitive as well. Their bloodline is Druid.
Were you ever married to the father?
Yeah,
And are you still married to him?
technically, yes. But we've been separated for like 15 years.
Really? Why?
Because it wasn't the idyllic situation, that it wasn't romantic. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Oh. We became really good friends, and that kind of, there was no more romance to be had.
Meaning that you were not having sex?
Correct.
Really? And he didn't want to?
Nope, he sure didn't.
And did you want to?
I think I did.
And so you got rid of him.
I did. We actually owned the Occult Shop, which was a bookstore in our classic neighborhood over in Ohio, where I'm from.
Right.
And we basically raised a community together along with our son.
What does God look like?
One of us, what if God was one of us? So when I see the highest high, the most high, I see light. And that's all that I see, no details.
And is it a he or a she or a drag queen?
I think drag queen would be perfect. But for me personally, the voice of God is masculine, but that's just for me personally.
Yeah, it's a he.
As you like.
It's been confirmed. So do you read people while walking up and down the road?
No way, especially not in Los Angeles.
And why not?
Here, honestly, I'll be honest, there's a lot of fake people out here.
In California?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brainwashed and
Hollywood.
fake. And I've never really experienced anything like this before. So I turn down my psychic senses, because I never know what I might run into.
Meaning what?
People out here have had a lot more room to experience the sinful part of life, and have experienced it. Where I'm from, we're a little bit more wholesome.
From Ohio, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. And so, so when you're walking around, you tune it down so that you won't connect with them?
I'm listening to the DJ, so I'm listening to music, and God is my DJ, so I'm listening to signs and symbols and lyrics while I'm playing around in the great paradise of Los Angeles.
There are a lot of women who hate men, and they think God is a she.
Okay.
Because they hate men, right? They reject masculinity. What do you say to those women who think God is a she?
Because
you'll hear
but
men say it
you're
too.
putting, you're prefacing this with women hate men, therefore God is a woman. So
Right.
that's a lot of prefacing here.
Right.
I don't know those women personally, and I would think that they have trauma dealing with their own fathers, obviously.
Yeah.
It all goes back to the childhood.
So now that you left your husband, and because you wanted some sex and he didn't want to do it,
You make it sound so simple and base.
are you out? Are you having sex with different men?
Actually, I haven't had sex in 8 years.
Whoa!
Thank you.
But why would you leave your husband and say you were not going to have
It
sex?
wasn't to get sex somewhere else. It was to leave my heart open for the possibility of romantic love.
Oh, and
Because
so,
it wasn't there anymore.
so far yet, no one's come along. Mm-mm. Do you want sex?
No, never. I would like to make love with my soulmate, but I'm totally not into sex. And I don't get regularly aroused like normal people do.
Oh, you don't?
No.
But making love is having sex, right?
It depends.
Like kissing and having sex and all that stuff.
Are you having sex?
No.
Okay, I can tell.
Oh, really? Have you ever been wrong, giving people wrong advice?
No,
You've never been wrong?
no.
No one ever came back and said, hey, I want my money back. You
Oh
were
gosh,
wrong.
no. I wouldn't do it if I got that kind of feedback.
Oh, you wouldn't do it at all?
No.
Not even if one person came back?
It just hasn't happened, so I really can't say.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, what is a Viking?
A Viking?
Yes.
Really? Okay. They're from the Norse, and they worship Freya and Odin. I really didn't study them because I'm not from them. But you asked me about Druids, I can tell you about
Are
that.
you afraid of the Vikings?
Probably a little bit.
Oh, you are? Why?
Intimidated.
Really?
Because they were a warrior culture, and I really can't stand war.
Oh, you can't?
It's very hard for me to read things about war. Even the Bhagavad Gita is about war, so it's difficult.
So is the Viking different than being a witch?
Yeah, I would say definitely, because Wicca and paganism is the celebration of life, and war is the celebration of death.
So if I told you I was a Viking right now, would you get up and run?
No, I'm not reactionary.
Can you tell I'm a Viking?
Not really. I think you're a cool guy.
Right on. What is a witch?
So let's say you could say there's Illuminati and Illuminati. So you have illuminated, and on the other side of the coin, you have the difficult New World Order kind of people. So you could say that witches that ate babies are more the New World Order kind of people, and Wicca is a religion of nature.
Are there people like that around here in California?
Well, I don't know them personally, but I have seen pictures and heard tales of many Satanists, Luciferians, and those who sacrifice here in California. But I think it's prevalent. I think it's all over the world. I think it's been going on for many generations.
What is their purpose?
Their end game is to kill all life, whether they know it or not.
Oh, really? And so if you were to cross paths with one, would you be able to tell that that's what it is right away?
I crossed paths with Masons when I came out here, and they were also dabbling in satanic rituals.
Masons were?
Yes.
And are they still doing that?
Well, yes, that's their lifestyle.
They were dabbling in satanic, what?
Yeah, they would call it Masonry, but what they're actually doing is basically satanic ritual abuse.
Like what, for example?
They sacrifice living things to something that they call Baphomet, or the god of the dead, which isn't Baphomet, and it's very difficult to say that they're doing everything incorrect, so I don't want to explain it correctly, but they are hurting things to get what they want.
And when you say things, like what?
Usually animals,
So they sacrifice animals?
yeah.
Really?
From what I've seen. In
You've seen that?
visions. No, I would never be in a room where that was going on.
Oh, so how have you seen it?
In visions.
Oh, in
Through being around
visions.
these people, working with these people, touching these people, right? Talking with them and understanding where they're coming from. Yeah.
I read that you were a Buddhist,
That's right.
and Buddhists don't believe in God.
So Buddha said, don't worship me, right? So Buddha means anointed or Christed, same difference, only thousands of years before Christ. And so it's about finding enlightenment within you. So it's about being able to get to the God source from within instead of the materialistic way of grabbing and searching and seeking outside of yourself.
But do they believe there is a God that lives above us and in us?
My guru
and
did.
that he has a son named Jesus.
Oh, my guru did. She actually wanted to become a Catholic nun at a very critical point in her life. So she was a Buddhist, and Buddhists will always tell you, you can go back to your childhood religion, and you can have your childhood religion along with Buddhism. So it's more of a way of thinking, of processing. It's a different way of loving yourself.
And so you're saying to me, yes, Buddhist, people who are Buddhist, do believe in the creator who created all things, God, right?
Yeah, but I can't speak for all Buddhists. I can speak for my guru, Sri Mamo Devi, Maria Rose, and she was the one who taught me Buddhism, all of it. Therefore, that also, she was a Christian too.
Is there a difference between, I was going to ask, is there a difference between Christianity or Christians and Buddhists?
Yeah, there's a time difference, that's for sure, and then cultural differences as well.
And when you say time difference, what do you mean?
That Buddha was born before Jesus.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And cultural difference is?
Yeah, so the Hindu people basically versus...
I noticed that Buddhist people don't have courage.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you see that? Tell me all about it.
All they do is sit around and pray, and they don't wear normal clothes and all that. They don't fight wars, and they don't.
That's right. Yeah, it's a bet.
They're like, what's making them so weak?
Well,
and
you are
without
judging
courage.
them as weak.
But they don't fight. They don't stand for anything. That is a sign of weakness.
Well, in a materialistic world, that's true. But they're not in a materialistic world.
But I see them in the materialistic world.
You see them physical, but
Right.
it doesn't mean their mind is materialist.
And so do their mind tell them not to stand up and be men of courage?
It's more about them. You must understand they are trying to escape samsara, the world of suffering, through understanding themselves and understanding the universe. So they're not playing the materialistic game. They're not really playing this game.
And so is that why they don't defend themselves when attacked?
I think that's a big reason why, yeah.
But that's so beta, like beta male. You know what a beta is?
I think so. I am on Twitter.
But isn't that so beta? Why believe in a God that won't give you the courage to stand up for yourself?
Well,
Even
yeah,
during time of war.
you definitely have Western thoughts there. And if you spent lifetimes on a mountain, you might feel differently. You might know differently.
On a mountain?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Meditating on a mountain.
They spend all their lives on a mountain?
Well, yeah. Highest point in the world.
Would you marry a Buddha?
An enlightened man, that's all I ever wanted.
But don't you want a man that would protect you in time of trouble?
I think men and women come together in love, and it's not about what they can do for each other in those materialistic ways.
But would you want a man that would protect you in time of trouble, or would you want him to run?
No, I know what you mean, and I would like the masculine to act masculine as I feminine act feminine. Sure.
So would you want him to protect you?
That'd be great.
So you would never marry a Buddha because he's not going to protect you.
The thing is that when you live your life with God every moment of every day, you're not really that afraid, you understand.
But
and
they act afraid when they don't protect themselves.
we come to a point to where we just trust what's happening to us. I've been through some extreme darkness where I felt abandoned, and that trust had to pull me through that. Faith had to pull me through that. I'm not depending on a strong alpha male or anything else other than God.
If a Buddhist is married, do they get married?
They do.
And they had a family, a wife and children.
They're called householders.
And someone came to attack them physically, to take their lives. they wouldn't fight back because they just believe in something in them?
No, you can fight back. That they don't choose to fight back in large groups is one thing, but to keep your personal safety, to keep your life, you are allowed to fight back. It's not against the rules.
Why don't they choose to fight back in large groups?
Well, you know, you're going to have to ask the Dalai Lama for that, because he's kind of like the father of the Buddhists right now.
That's the guy that's trying to do all these interracial marriages and things like that? Is that
I
the
don't
same
know, but I
person?
would say he's highly political
Yeah.
for a simple monk.
Is that good?
I don't know. Anyone on the stage of life, anyone who's famous, has usually compromised themselves in one way or another.
Have you ever come in contact with Satan?
I've looked for Satan everywhere, and all I can find is death.
Satan is death. So Satan is the same as evil, right?
If you like I said, there's a force. I don't think personification.
Have you ever come in contact with evil forces?
Yeah.
What did you do when you came into contact with evil forces? As an
Okay.
adult, how do you deal with that?
Well, how do I deal with it? A lot of prayer. We have tools, especially in Buddhism, on how to pray specifically, on what there are mantras that we read. There are certain knives that we don't actually physically use, but they're spiritual knives. They're physical knives, but they're used spiritually. So we actually have tools for these things.
Amazing. I read that you joined a 12-step program even though you were not an alcoholic.
That's
Is that
right.
true?
That's true.
Do you smoke pot?
I do, for pain.
I figured you smoke pot when I read that. I went, pot smoker.
Oh, but not, I haven't been a pot smoker for that long.
So you joined a program even though you were not an alcoholic. Why did you do that?
So I was identified by a friend of mine who said, I think you're codependent. I think that's your problem. And I read up on codependency, and because my father was an alcoholic, then I learned that I was a para-alcoholic, or the adult child of an alcoholic. And that sent me to counselors who told me to go to 12-step, which is a group session. So you get to hear real life stories, real life people who have gone through things that you've gone through as well. And you thought you were the only one on the planet that went through what you went through, but then strangers start telling your story to you. And it's such a comfort and a bonding experience that it pushed me forward to keep with the 12 steps until I was completely healed. And I think that it's good for just about anybody. It's a great roadmap.
So are you done with it now?
I don't think you're ever actually done, because if you're healed and you feel good, then you need to pay that forward.
So you think that you will always be an alcoholic even though you're not an alcoholic and you don't even drink?
You mean I'll always be a 12-stepper?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Codependency is almost just as bad as alcoholism.
What do you, have anyone ever said to you, well, woman, you crazy. Get out of here.
Sure,
How
when
do
I
you-
was younger.
How do you deal with that when they say you crazy?
I allow them to think whatever they choose to think.
Do you think you're normal?
No, I'm definitely not normal.
And what is abnormal about you?
That I dream while I'm awake, that I can hear the collective, that I'm never alone, that I feel all of you all the time as if I am also Mother Earth. So it's not an easy existence.
Really? Do you get lonely and sad and all that sometimes?
Yeah, for home, like nothing for here. Like it'd be nice to travel, but I get lonely and sad for the pure realms of love.
Meaning you want real love?
Once I leave this body, yes.
Do you have friends?
Sure do. I got great friends, very
You do?
supportive.
Are they psychics as well?
They're intuitive, but none of them are professional.
Oh, okay. And I got to ask, because we're running out of time again, it's amazing how fast. Do you get involved with politics?
No, I believe politics is Luciferian in nature.
Really?
I do.
And so, have you ever heard of the Great White Hope?
I think I have.
And what do you think of the Great White Hope?
It sounds like something from the 70s, so what is it?
Donald Trump, the president.
Oh, well, he's a materialist, obviously, number one, right? So his big thing is, how can we make more money to make America great again? And I believe that when you do your research, you understand all of these rulers all across the world are related through a bloodline. And then you can realize that most people who run our planet are related, and it's a family affair, and you're not in it.
Is he doing an amazing job in making America great again and so forth?
No, he's killing people like every other president.
And what do you mean by that?
Mass murder.
Who did he mass murder?
Everyone that he told, okay, we can go shoot these people up now, we can go kill these people now.
Like who, for example?
Where have we been lately? I try to block this stuff out, honestly. It's not that I don't watch Jason Burmis and other people on YouTube that tell me everything that's going on in politics, but it's not something I let seep in to me.
Is he wrong for killing the Taliban who want to kill us? The Allah Akbar
I
people?
think murder is wrong, period.
So is the president wrong for protecting us from them?
You really think that's what's happening?
Is he wrong for that?
I don't think that we're being protected. I believe that we're headed towards a new world order.
And what is the New World Order?
Where we are enslaved even more than we are now. So we can look up Agenda 21 if you like, but that's actually a plan that's been in place to change our homes, where we live, all our lifestyles, and make everything automated so that we are really a slave race, and there's a huge divide between the rich and the poor. I don't see colors, race, gender. I see good and evil.
So you believe the president is a part of this New
Beast
World Order
system.
agenda?
Let's call it the beast system, yeah.
Really? And so what do
Because
you...
you rule yourself. You're a grown man. You're your own father. You're your own mother. You can make your own choices. And I see that with presidents, it's like you're picking a team. You're picking a sports team. And it's not very deep or soulful or meaningful.
So you believe the president is a part of this New World Order agenda? Should you be allowed to be in a country such as America and don't vote?
Being a Native American, you can all get out. So we were oppressed and taken over by those who came in. So you must know that America is an invention.
So when you say Native American, you're an Indian?
I'm a Cherokee.
Really? And how did that happen?
Through sex.
I mean, were your father and mother Indians?
No, my great-grandmother and her husband. And so my great-grandmother's name was Daisy Dill.
Oh.
And so you've got an herb and a flower. So beautiful.
And what do you think about that woman who pretended that she was Native, Indian? What's her name? From Boston, Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Remember, she pretended to be a Native, and she got all the benefits that the Native get, the free stuff, and then she had to admit she was lying.
Wow.
Amazing, huh?
But she's a big politician, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
So why was she getting anything?
Because she pretended to be before that. She didn't
Oh, I
before that.
see.
Yeah. Are there different spirits inside of you?
Nope, there's just one soul, one light.
Have you had different spirits living in you before?
Not living within me, but I can hear them and I can hear the dead.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
What are they talking about?
The dead usually that I can hear are close to the earth. So they're in that middle realm. And those are the ones that are most suffering. And that's where sleep paralysis or that boogeyman in my dreams came from. It's basically like someone left the door to hell open in my dream time.
And they let Nancy Pelosi came out, along with the Wicked Witch of the West, Maxine Waters, with the low IQ. So what are the dead people saying to you? When you hear them talking, what are they talking about?
I can hear their conversations. It's not as if they're talking straight to me unless I'm under a spiritual attack. That's when they actually talk to me. But otherwise, I can hear the collective of the living people and the collective of the dead.
And what are they saying to one another?
Oh, it sounds like phone conversations a lot. It's so similar to phone conversations. But there's a lot of yelling, screaming, crying, a lot of suffering that's going on there. Yeah.
Amazing. What's your impression of me? How do you read me?
You're a lot more calm than I thought you would be because you have such strong opinions, but you're not like ripping up the chair passionate about it. You know what I mean? You don't lose your head. So I'm impressed.
Amazing. Would you want to sleep with me?
You mean go to sleep?
I mean sleep.
Christ compels you.
I told you this interview is going to be a crazy one, right? Jesse is just crazy, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I did. And if you did, if you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I'd like you to react to the video like I said earlier, and I'll be coming up with more videos like this. So I'll see you in the next one. Until then, my name remains Roland. Bye bye.